Please listen to please listen by adjusting your motivation and conduct by thinking to yourself, I must achieve the precious state of peerless complete enlightenment for the sake of all the mother sentient beings who are equal to the extent of space by any means, and for that reason I'm going to listen to these holy Dharma teachings. Then, as for the Dharma that we're going to be listening to, this is an explanatory transmission of the stage of the path to enlightenment, and we've reached the section which explains the karma and its results, and specifically within the black karmic path or negative karmic paths, and the white or positive karmic paths. We are now we're on the section which explains the negative, the paths of negative karma, or the negative karmic paths. Then the practice of discarding, with respect to karma and its results, discarding and practicing discarding the negative actions and practicing the positive karma is something which is extremely important, particularly for beginners. The practice of karma in this way, the discarding negative karma and practicing positive karma, is far more important than the practice of the generation stage and the completion stage. So now, to understand, to be able to practice, we need to understand just what those the negative karmic paths are, and by understanding that, we'll be able to abandon those or discard them. And abandoning these negative karmic paths is the practice of virtue. So, in order to be able to do this, we need to have a clear understanding. If we're going to understand what these negative karmic paths are, we need to understand what factors are needed, or what criteria we need to have complete in order for a particular action to be a complete negative karmic path, and so forth.
Aneda, sojo tabena, jesamba joan tatu ziyin de gona, da jeso to dembe semje. Reta sambala, re to son kono, nyomo to son kono je, dushi, reta sammi jenda, no sojo bachi gugore. In the sammi jenda. Saying do, go so band about Ella, Lucy Matrovaci, Jedogina, 다 거는 지주세네 수인나 세고 냠바요이나 엔드진 총만 존자게요래 마도신 고소반 도비 돈도 쳐가지 고요래 근데 루시만 줘가지 고요래
Then if we look at the karma of killing, for example, so there with the negative karma of killing we have the basis, the attitude, the action, and then the completion, those four. So with the basis, you need to have a living being, a living sentient being, and then for the attitude, then there's we talk about the presence of any of the three klesha, or the three delusions: attachment, anger, ignorance. Then with the recognition. Now, generally speaking, since in the case of the negative karma of killing, we're talking about consciously or knowingly taking the life of another. So generally speaking, you need to have unmistaken recognition. You need to be unmistaken in your recognition of the being that you're going to kill. But in the case of where your intention is to kill anyone, kill any being, then in that case you don't need to have unmistaken recognition. Whether your recognition or discernment is mistaken or non-mistaken, it doesn't make any difference in that case.
소조 다베제네 조바다 무지 바르도 소심 노와이나 고노 소심데 노와이나 바로보데 셔와이나요 내가 무지 주고요 말와.
Then most of the other negative karmas are mostly the same in this way, in needing to have the unmistaken recognition. And then when we look at there's one point here, which is that in between the action and the completion, if you wish to kill that being, or you wish to take the life of that being, you sort of like if you stop that, if you stop having the intention, the wish for that person to die, then in that case you wouldn't get the actual body of the negative karma of killing. You wouldn't get that complete actual body of the negative karma of killing.
바로보는 손을 좋아하지 손을 산에 바로보다 농간요야다 된들라 요 제반로 제지 다 맛이 좋아 삼만지 제네 소심도 도성이나 조바디 젠지 바로보 세부바이나요 다 조바제가니다 대니 바지 얼마도 의질내 남성이야 소저야라.
No.
바로보는 손은 비조바지. 손이.
Okay.
나 대지라. 바로보 나서면서 우선 된전 통용이 되거나 다 마셔 제나 삼성으로 주문이나 소심도 도성으로. 소심 도성인데 다기 손은 마티 젠지 바로보 샘플바이나요. 조변이 봐도 의질내남 죽음해야 돼.
In the case, for example, where you might use some weapon to kill the person, so you're engaged in this the karma of killing. You use some kind of weapon to kill the person, to strike the person, I should say. Then when you see the suffering that's being that being is experiencing, and then you feel at that point that you don't want them to die, you don't want to kill them. But then in that case, even if they do die as a result, or as a condition, as a result of your action of striking them with this weapon, you still wouldn't, in that case, you wouldn't get the complete body of this negative karma of killing. You would still get some sort of like negative karma.
Usually the vice, they haven't engaged in the action of killing, but you don't receive the actual body of one karma of killing. Doesn't get completed because even after you put the weapon, after you strike the weapon in the person, seeing that is suffering, then suddenly change your motivation of killing. You regret, you see, so from now to not kill, then even the person died. So by from the action, you see, bring weapon, but you don't right up put the weapon inside. You know, so your mind changed, your attitude changed before the person died. You see. You felt regret, so therefore you don't actually receive the actual body of the net karma killing.
Immerda, Kazanda, so jobate, Sisu, Nosim, Teje, Tomo, Dosum, Somgiris, Tarchiate, Shedon Konin Tarchiba, Chigiris Sono. The Shedon Konin Tarchimba Jesuyate, that Shedon Nosim the Madovena, go Tarchi to Mary. It is Nosim Jun Chen Yoj, Jumachiva Yoj, Tato Goga in the Tigon, Sosim Donna, and English Mevate, the Hago.
We were saying the other day, during the previous teaching, that in the case of killing, also in the case of the harsh speech and ill will, that what any of the three poisonous minds of attachment, anger, and ignorance can be involved in getting one started, like at the stage of the motivation to engage in this negative action. But when it comes to the completion, then when it comes to the motivation, the motivating delusion, which is involved in sort of bringing the action to completion, then in that case it would only be the hatred or the anger. Then in any of these cases, then if at a certain point the wish to harm or the wish to engage in to complete the negative action stop, so you stop having that motivation, then although you would get some vice, as we were saying before, but you wouldn't get the complete negative karma, the complete body, the actual body of that negative karma.
Le Danda Gandhijana Le Namijiva Chagyomi. And Gandhijana Yonga Yomi Imagine them by the knees. That the Navy of the Modelayon Danda She de Age Lenam Juye, no Gan Jivakarimi, Yomakarimi. Dish Hala. Yo, top danger that you go to the temple, lay top chima, and Tempachi, such as so.
Then
such a near, Lenam Juichi on top danger that you go to the temple.
Then, so specifically where we've got to in the text, in your English, it's page 227 towards the bottom, where it says distinctions of weight. Then, so here this is we've now reached the second outline, which is talking about an explanation of which of the karmas are heavy and which of them are lighter. So this is in order to understand the different kinds of ripening result, what kind of result would follow from having engaged in these various karmas. So understanding that in terms of which ones are the heaviest and ones which are the lighter ones. So, particularly in the context of the 10 karmic paths. So, first of all, there are two parts to this section also. First of all, is an explanation of which are the heavier ones and which are the lighter ones, like amongst the 10, which are the heavier ones, which are the light ones, and so on. And then, secondly, there's it says ancillarily, there is an explanation of what factors are involved in making a karma powerful and so forth. So we're looking at the first one.
Imarta, Sojabatavala, Sombayena, Reda, Jona Sombayena, Nichiva is. Tematona, and Yoan is on him. That is Tombonangales, Sojabala, Sona, and Sambicheva. Reda Tombo Sambicheva. Sambicheva ne. Toma Nyomo to some trouble, some you make up to some with some you do, to some day on show trouble. That show trouble, but Nyomo show trouble according to your Hindu, go some because it's your child.
So, if we take killing as an example for understanding this, then it explains here that if there are five causes, I think it was anyway. If there are 5 factors present, then the karma would be complete. Would be heavy, and if any of those are missing, then it would be that much lighter. The karma would be that much lighter. So first of all, in terms of the attitude, so the way that the killing can become heavy in terms of the attitude would be if one engages in the karma of killing with a powerful affliction. If the affliction, if one of the 3 afflictions which motivates it, which is present in the attitude, is powerful, then that would make the negative karma of killing powerful in terms of the attitude.
Imarta, Jovejevasya. Jovejevane, Sojoba Chesam, Chebama Chebanjuva, the Gaja Rombi Sembo Dembata, Ronge, Marsojo Cheba, Tata Chejima, Mohammed Chebanjuva, Tendela, Gaji, Yerum Sembo Demba, Tenrigone, Juva Zambayena, Jovejeva Chagaji. That agent, Rayon Chela, Yen Tenzin the Juditating Abajoba, Ronge Sojo. Mejana the sojo jena, that keeps on younger as no sojo chejo, the Abajoya. Then Tenda Tona, the sojo get wrong, the Jena sojo baton, the wrong yigawa. You yada. And that you remove Sosam Rajena, you remove the Sego and the Sosam Yaji. Reta Sabi Semje said, you more Sami doing Sakwasayate, Sabi Semje Chebada, Dayon Lenchik Zamahimba, do it that, say the other. Kubar changing it, said, and the Sim Gavi, Gawa, Imberta Gash in the Chayakis on Mojila, Kubar changing. And Len Reda, Mombo de Soja. Reda Parabosobi Sena, Redonga Tawajaya, Kajik, Ranoji, Labatavana, Kono Sono, Donga Jejuya, Donga Tawaji Sobato. Jiwajan the Tawaji, member Jedi Judas, in the Tendemo, Younger Yorwa. Yelanochi, Yelajene, Teso, a Teseva in the soul may young say. That and look at the Tower Maya Juyat. Yom Reda Sojo Yaxono, Tender Jeju, teaches Seyano, a tender young girl, Java Maya Chetu Jude Sobata. 다 세야게 심진된 요게 셴바 냠타고 던지지 요지나 이말 레테스 요 되고체 제용이야 근데 그게 써야 돼 농가 몸을 용는 게 저는 근데 초바 템보 냠타고 그래다 그 세로제도 거나도 도끼 몸을 작용해 냠타고 뭐 인조 명한 도지 근데 그게 소용도 거나 바로 받아 동을 채야 용이 아닌자 조배 거네 느관요 제와 용이요 속에
Then, in terms of the negative karma being heavier in terms of the action, the actual action of killing. So, if this is done with a sense, with sort of like a sense of liking or rejoicing in the killing that you've done in the past, that you're doing in the present, that at the future and at the future killing. And then you sort of engage in negative action of killing in that context, then the negative karma of killing would be heavier. Also, when you kill in the context of feeling that whether you kill others, whether you yourself kill others, or whether you get other people to do killing, you feel like it's just it's good for you kind of thing. Or and kind of like praising it, praising it, saying how good it is, then that would also be heavier. Also, when killing, the action of killing, karma of killing is created in the context of seeing others, being pleased to see others engage in the negative action of killing. Also, when you have wanted to kill over a long period, so this is sort of like the intention to kill has been built up over a long period, and when you've made preparations for the action of killing over a long period of time, and also when you don't just kill once, but you kill many times, and then when you kill, actually in the Tibetan, there's it mentions literally killing with respect. What that means is killing joyfully, with like very happily, and then also. So that also makes it heavier. And then when each time you kill, you don't just kill one, but you kill many beings all at once, all at the same time. And then so that makes it heavier. Also, when your killing causes a great deal of suffering. So some people, when their enemy comes into their hands, then they would want to kill them by inflicting as much suffering as possible on them. So then also that would make it heavier, and also what would make it heavier would be killing while preceded by making the person you're killing engaging all sorts of inappropriate actions. Also, it would be heavier when you kill somebody who is in a pathetic condition, who is inferior or weak. So that would make it heavier. Also, if you kill somebody who is experiencing a great deal of suffering, so in a very wretched situation, and when that makes it heavier. And killing them when they're sort of crying out in fright, or crying out with the suffering, wailing, then killing them nevertheless, that would also be heavier, because your action of killing, because they're in such a pitiful situation, and because they're crying out in fear and so forth, this would be causing more suffering for them. So therefore, it makes the action of killing heavier.
이말다 조회지어지. 년년 매반에 지와서 그래 소주로 저기 요아니나요? 인디님보 땜바니나 도서 용 거예요. 말이 단년보 매봐. 년지진도 라방가요 매내나. 그다 니마를 해진다. 아니 년내 도만로 니자를 내야 된대요 매와지 매내나. 그다 나 제다 그래서 가제다다 좀 양의 종합바된 주도주제지. 대인들은 나와 체라 니네나 집안에 tende yungu tende mewa. Ne yon namju dawari mere ngore jendu tseba jeda, jujeda, jongala, yene sungi yoji, sungi yungu yorwa, tende yon ma jewaji. Nyene la neba tang, tuyo tuyo jimba tang, sonamdong, ondu mawa tang, tuyo tuyo jimba tang ya, da deli jimbe ni sonam soya, ondu mawa, imbarita ya, bakunjoge tonga ki sono, tende topa, noya sono imbar, ondu mawa. Ina cha chawa, rādi kuñjōda kūpa jine, yā tōng yā, tāmo jōwa, līpi sēmna sōpa mē jēpa tōng, tēnde jēwa yinā tā, yīmbō mē pa chānu yuwa jī. Tē yindu tānda, tā sōchō yā rō jī yinā, tā tēnde kī mā rē, ngō tsāwō rē, sāpsā kā rō rō, mē chēki rē sāyā rō, yōna rō yin jōba yuwa yinā, yōngi yuwa jī. Tā tēnde mē bā, ngō tsā shī bā tō, chē yuwa bā tō, jōba shē jīmbō mē tō bā, 지 그래다 지템베 차드람 그래다 시라남제니 람 고미유도고나 오마오미 요몽원주와 고노로야지 여기요 다들 치료받아 여기요 대답은 지템베 차드라가 남세야다 중원말도 받아 메리바스 중원말도 받아 단다 대진부다소 주주로 대제 님보 고미야 몸도 받는 메리 봐고 소이 다들 제비나 대서 맞제바지나 님보 매바래 님보 매바지도 거기 되고 돼요 님보 매바지서 고 휴지 못 차도 요도 님보 매비지 와제
Then it talks about being heavier because of being without the antidote. Somebody with Georgia. Anyway, okay. Heavier because the karma being heavier because of being without the antidote. So then, for example, if we take the example of killing, then if you rely upon the antidote, then the karma of killing becomes lighter. So, for example, if there are some people who practice the one-day vows, the vows of individual liberation, or the vows of renunciation, there are those the 8 vows that you can take for one day. So, some people, for example, will make a practice of abiding in those vows or taking those vows on the day of the day of the great day of, or the great commemoration of the day of miracles, which is on the so anyway,
the beginning of the Tibetan New Year.
It's sorry, yes. This is during this is a period which comes at the beginning of the Tibetan New Year, during those first 15 days. There are also some people who make a practice of taking the Nyeni vows, or these 8 precepts, on the 8th of the month, the 14th and 15th, and so forth. So, if so, we're talking about like not having that kind of antidote, or some people will make a practice of practicing generosity in order to create merit, and so not having that kind of antidote either, because that also acts as an antidote. And then where it talks about, well, anyway, it also talks.
That one's not taking any precept vows. The harm on the example, the Tibetan 8th or 24th or 25th. There's not taking any of these precepts. Any vows.
Okay, so that one is talking about not taking any vows at all. For example, not taking not even taking those 8 precepts and so on those occasions, as Rinpoche described. Also, not engaging in the practice of generosity in order to create merit, or praising the Buddha, expressing praise to the Buddha. Also, respectfully or with a mind of respect, making prostrations, standing, standing up to show respect to the Buddha and so forth. Also, what would act as a, so without that even. Also, what would act as an antidote, in other words, something which would make the negative karma lighter, would be where you have generate a sense of shame and embarrassment, or shame and consideration. These mental factors where you avoid, refrain from negative actions, taking yourself as a reason or others as a reason, thinking to yourself, it's not good, killing is not good, it's something that I shouldn't do. So not having that acting as an antidote. Also then, what can act as an antidote is if you have a level of concentration which is called the worldly, sort of the freedom from the worldly concentration, which is free of attachment, which is separated from attachment. So what this means is that through meditating on the having achieved calm abiding, then meditating on the aspects of gross and peaceful, one would be able to ascend through the different concentrations and formless absorptions, and at each, as you achieve each of those levels of concentration, then you're able to temporarily suppress or temporarily abandon attachment to the objects of the level below.
The visible delusions.
No, the visible delusions.
Abandon the visible delusions.
So you can abandon the visible delusions rather than the...
By mentioning the path that which analyzes the desired and formless terms, pacifying which is gross, which is a better, which is more peace, by analysing the path, so which analyses those two, peace and gross. So
that's a path which sees the lower, the realm below as being gross, and the next realm up as being peaceful and desirable.
Which path which temporarily stops the visible delusion.
Yes. So this is something which, in fact, is possible even for. It's not just a Buddhist practice. It's something that's possible for the Titikas, these non-Buddhist extremist practitioners. So then, that is something which can also act as an antidote to make the karma lighter. So not even having that kind of antidote. Then also meditating on various points of Dharma, such as meditating on the Four Noble Truths, 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths and so forth. This also can offset the heaviness of the karma, to make the karma a bit lighter. It means that when you engage in karma, in creating negative karma, the karma would tend to be lighter. So now, what this means then is, if you're not practicing any of these antidotes, that means that when you do engage in negative karma, then that negative karma is going to be done much more strongly, and therefore the karma is going to be that much heavier.
제도 주종하세야 돼. 양원 망원인가 써야지. 난 망원이 남고인데요. 종아 차대 그러고. 이제는 제 주지 종아 나 유지 연구해야 돼. 나도 연구요. 단다 메인지대나 개와나죠. 근데 제가 아까 저게 사도서 다리 연구요. 근데 이제는 단다 제바 제라 단다 야전 리집을 하이 넘버에서 매 이제는 가르치기도 다가대요 지기 어레스 정말 다 주실라 야전 리집 뭐 여기 어레스 종아나 야전 다 저보지면 시했다 야전 시했다 야전 시 그런 소용이요. 근데 자체 레지를 하세요. 저로. 자체 레지를 하게 나오게 제바제라 넘보 주실라 뭐 종아나 jabo konoso yone menji dena gewa jogo magewa jogo tende tagayo e te kala na to gewa do bayena konto gawachi enji dena gane chajo to se bayala so tende che yo tende yende juche chayo deyo jele jubjin juche jubjele jonga juche cha yo so
it's generally regarded as being something, a very good thing to take these 8 precepts on the 8th, the 14th, and the 15th of the month. Now, actually, we can talk about the month being divided into 2 portions. One is called literally, the first part is called the waxing part, where the moon is waxing. And then the second part of the month, the last 15 days are called the waning month, the part of the month. Literally it's called the waning month. It means the part of the month where the moon is waning. So that means that we can actually talk about the 8th of the waxing month and the 8th of the waxing part of the month, and also the 8th the waning part of the month. So now on those days there are beings that come from there are these beings that come to the world of the human beings in order to see whether the human beings here are practicing virtue or not. So on the 8th, it's the ministers of the 4 great kings that come, and so they come and they check to see to see whether people are engaging in virtue or not. Then on the 14th, it's the chiefs, the bun, the chiefs of the
sons.
The children.
Yes,
no,
son.
Sorry, the sons. Sorry, not the chiefs. The sons of the 4 great kings that come along to check up. And then on the 15th, it's the actual 4 great kings themselves that come and check to see whether the people in this world are practicing virtue or not. So it's for this reason that the 14th is regarded as a more powerful day for practicing virtue than the 8th, and the 15th is regarded as even more powerful. So they come and they check to see whether the
15th is more powerful than the 14th.
The 15th is more powerful than the 14th. Then they come and check, and if they and when they see that virtue is being done, like by abiding in these vows and engaging in various virtuous activities, then they become very pleased.
So the virtue in those days increases much more.
For that reason, the virtue on those days is much stronger.
The 4 great kings come.
The 4 great kings come on the 15th. Yes, I said that. Yes.
이말다네 로방엄마 셴마데 제와네스 이말다 로방엄마 셴마데 제와 세야데 신제도나 셴바지 대요 로디옹게 요기요 임바레 다 제르베 춥진제 바스 초진 춥진제 그래서 만조제네 근데 세네 초바제가 있나 그런데 주의스기 와라 텔레텔레 타보도 요새야 근데 제가 아닌데 춥진제 바다게 근데 제가 아닌데 텔레텔레 초소야 그래서 대 로방고 마시바지 요 초남네 제구다고 요제제 조주베나 세준이 밤에 세야 대체르비쇼 근데 요게 아니거든요 대제 제선 로네 냠바소 로다 코로나 때인데 소바 then 로방고 마신 비치 바레스
Then the 4th one, killing which is heavy due to some misconception. Do you know where we are in the English text? Anybody following? Huh? No, which page? Huh? 228. Okay, so we're on page 228 here. So due to clinging to the perverse, it says here, which is heavy due to clinging to the perverse. So this would mean, for example, in the treatises or the texts, the teachings of these non-Buddhist extremists, so they teach that sacrificing is dharma for them. It's a religious practice. They consider this a religious practice, and that it's a way to achieve liberation. And then they also think that there is no harm in killing animals because that's what they're there for us to. They're, as it says here, they're created by the Lord of all beings, sort of created by God or whoever for us to eat, and therefore they consider there's no harm in killing. So killing in the context of having such misconceptions would also make the karma heavier.
이말이다. 제고 다보스나 첨바다. 다 첨바다 쓰게 한 말이. 다 첨바데 제고 다보 이제 디 노주지 제바보 is. The 노주지 제바보 is 제고 다보 소노. 상미요 말. 이제 통만 제된 차요 뭐가라 첨빈 제되나 첨바 코로 또 뭐지? 이제 공원에 살아서 마동하지. 근데 그런 쪽 보면 마동 매 되면서. 근데 샘지오네 로바지 좋나서인데 이 옛날에 맞지 않네. 그런게 다데 그런게 삼비트 많이 있어. 옛날에 저게요 손비트 좀. 들리잖아요. 이때인데 탐지 그런 거 많이 했었네. 총재 노티네에서야 들리시게요. 근데 레는 단다 소다서 반대다 논조지죠 조셔레스 이제 세는 이봐요 말이스 세다 어떤 세네 세베이나 로방고 마시 미치바지.
Then the term that's mentioned here is the Kigudapu, like the Lord of the Lord of beings, the Lord of all beings. It says here. So this refers to Brahma, the Hindu god Brahma. So what happened is that when the world was first formed, he was the first being to be born in that world, and he looked around and saw that he was alone and wanted to have companions. So then, after having that thought that it would be nice to have companions, then other beings were born there. And so he thought that they were born there somehow, that they were his creation, because they came there when he wanted them to be there. And they also considered that he was their creator. And so for this reason, he and they considered that he was the creator of the whole world and the whole in terms of the environment and also the inhabitants of the world. So
also he could not see higher devas.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't able to see anybody around him. He wasn't able to also see any higher devas than himself.
So that's why he thought he's the creator.
So that's how he ended up with that idea. So then he also considered that he had created all of the animals that were born in the world, and also like his followers also considered that they were his creation, and that therefore they were there for him, for them to use, to eat, and so on. So for this reason, there is this idea that they have this idea. There's the idea in their teachings that there's no fault in killing animals because they're put there for eating by the Creator.
말다네 다 소주 이제리 지와네 돈로 보원 첨보도 왔어 내가 보원 첨보 수도 첨보 네 된데서 아니나 그 류 첨보 요인이 자 되게 농가 첨보 요야지 요게 요인 말이야 근데 네 돈로 중조세 받아 무슨 세 받아 돈로 첨보 세 받잖아 돈로 첨보 세 받대 되고 제가 다 매매 차고서 난 늦는지 차네 매세야 돼 진달래 네 저도 주방에서 매매 차고 그래 난 차고서 단다 나는 내가 그러나 나는 돈 내가 난 차고지 그래다 온모드에서 조비도 거는 매차로
Then killing which is heavy in terms of the basis. So there, it's quite the size of the creature that's being killed makes a difference. So an animal, for example, when you kill an animal with a big body, will experience a lot more suffering when they're killed. So therefore, there is the killing an animal with a large body would be heavier than killing a creature with a small body, such as a small insect. So it would be heavier karma to kill an animal with a large body than some small insect, because the small insect having a small body would have experienced less suffering. And then it talks about killing a human being one of the heaviest kinds of karma of killing. It actually talks about the human, and then I think it's translated here as embryo, so something which is going to become a human being. Literally, it's referred to as Mirchakpa, the one that is going to become a human being. It means when the being is like first in the womb, before at that stage when before the all of the senses, so the sense faculties have formed. Once all of the sense faculties have formed, then that baby is a human being. So in either case, anyway, killing a human being or killing as it's expressed here, the embryo, before the sense faculties have fully developed, would be the heavier kind of negative karma. Killing a human being, because the basis, like that kind of the life of a human being, is like so much superior to other kinds of life in terms of what can be accomplished with it and so forth. So for this reason, killing a human being would be a heavier kind of negative karma of killing.
Pama da lama da ni ka rinji yende de peno ka ri na yo ko jiwa cha yo re da peno no penjaro peno re da gemba la po da yomba no bo se yo re yende penjada ne lama da se na yonde je de so yo je da ye ju ba penja me na yo penja symptom bo yo de ge je go yo de ne se ba yi na da ye ju ba yo de ge yo se na ma de cha yo ge wa de je da lo ba da se de yin de lo ba in ba da ju se ro se me o de se je ne chong ju se ba se dong ju se ba ne sa ju be ba je da Rajamba saying, Nindu Rajamba, Rasanje, Rajamba the Rosanje Sobada. That is Yeshiva Redan Chime Dujikuni by the Tront Viata Yomara. That Tront Via Mena Yo means in the charge. The Jiba Tron Maniba Shishin against in the charge about. In the Dande, Temandela Jima dojo yomara le jinge dojo mochi ne de jibe shabda ta don bi tsu do da de ji chumare da de da ba ne ye ko ni jiba re so
Then also killing which is heavier because of the base. Remember when we're talking about these four aspects, one of them is the base. So, like, for example, killing one's father and mother, killing one's guru and so on. So these are beings that are very kind to us, and therefore any benefit or harm becomes that much greater. So then it also mentions the relatives. Anyway, the word here in Tibetan refers to older and younger relatives, so it sort of refers to the one's relatives or family in general. So killing them, also even if they're not your relatives, but killing people that you get along with, you live agreeably with, live in harmony with, friends and so forth. So killing them because there is also like extra somehow suffering or unhappiness caused by that. So therefore, killing them would be a heavier negative karma. Also, it talks about killing those who are training. What does it say here? Anyway, those who are the Buddhist practitioner or involving the property of the guru also. So also, if one kills the guru, also it becomes very heavy negative karma.
But that's because by having heavier qualities.
Because of having so many qualities. Then killing, when it says killing those who are training, those who are training, this refers to the hearers, the hearer practitioners, like the stream enterers, the once returners, and so forth. Then also refers to bodhisattvas, like the bodhisattvas from the first to the 10th ground, or maybe from the path of accumulation right through to the 10th ground. Then also the arhats, like the pratyeka Buddha arhats and so forth. And then when when we come to the Buddha, since the Buddha, like the Buddha's body is something which is an emanation body, it's something which can't actually be killed, but still it is possible out of sort of with a very malicious intent to spill the blood of the Buddha, to sort of cause the Buddha to bleed. So if we look at this in the context of the present teachings of the present Buddha, then there was one occasion where Devadatta threw a stone or a rock at the Buddha, and it struck the Buddha's foot and caused it to bleed. So these are all in cases where the karma is heavier because of the basis.
So that's only one time happened during this period. So causing blood of Buddha, that's only one time happened.
Thank you.
Story. Do you Ichupa?
Sorry?
Before the Lopa. Ichupa. Before the Lopa.
Before the Lopa. Before the Lopa, yeah, then I was talking about the friends that you're living in harmony with, living happily and in harmony with. I thought Rinpoche explained it that way.
Who are, those who most dear ones, most beloved, most dear ones, killing those beings who is most dear to some other being, to some other person.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So because they're cherished by, beloved, loved by somebody, so then they have a karma.
No.
So more suffering.
No. Thank you.
Reda, the Jiba Truman was singing as some Changi as Reda, and Hijing Dojo, Dochimuchi, Tujano, Kandachavian, Major John, Lord Georgie, Point, but one. And take on the China Doji begin some Dojo the Malibicone, Doji Shuji, Dojo the Torjo. And Torja then Chunjunji Coagene, and don't be sheltered. And Chunjunjin Zambali with a poverty here, Zambala. The Chunjunjin Zambali with a pawn and Zambalo Machai, Mara. That the Manjuji should treat and Richard Zambala Kawajo. And take it and dig it, and Zambali with Chudo there at the teacher.
Got the first part anyway. Then, in this story of the Devadatta causing the blood of the Buddha to flow, so what happened is he threw some quite large stone, some quite large rock at the Buddha, and before it was able to strike the Buddha, Vajrapani threw a stone at that, which caused it to smash into small pieces. So only a small piece was able to
to the big rock, like artery, weapon artery, not the gun.
Oh, like with a catapult.
Artery.
I think that sort of projects it.
Yes.
No.
like that through huge rock.
No. So that was how he threw it, and then Vajrapani threw a stone at it, which caused it to smash the stone.
So before, just a minute before the stone hit Buddha's whole body, so Vajrapani immediately made into pieces. Vajrapani immediately brought the rock, the huge rock, into pieces. But it was small one that hit on the Buddha's feet. From that one small rock hit. When Vajrapani brought that huge rock pieces, then one small one hit on the Buddha's feet. And then one hit on the Zambala's head, so then injured. Zambala's head injured. So then afterwards, put water and healed treatment, and then put water. And then Zambala was healed, and Zambala was very happy. So then because that's why the practice of offering water on Zambala happened.
그러다 이번에 저기 뭐 용하고 될도 네 소조바 용마고 이제 다게 삼조자고 매봐 로방고 님보 요되게 로방고 버셔봐 용마 힘받는데 매체바이나 네 용마레스 다게지 다 하마고요 예마도 봐서 조바다 진영 시발 자라서 다 하마 단다 LamRim join on sojumato with hamagoyon and Jegoni Javasi Ajota, Jegoni Javasi do Lilam the Jegishimanda in so Yaji. Temadobe, Samba, Jova, Nimom, Lobang, Mishimadiso, a Jeruba Jachu race.
When a negative karma is created in the context of all of these five being present or complete, then the negative karma becomes very strong. And then, if, for example, if you don't have the first one, doing the action in a way where the delusion is very fierce or very strong, or like, for example, it's done with the antidote. And so forth, with the action not being so fierce or so heavy, then in this way, as those are missing, then the negative karma becomes lighter, and this is something which can also be applied to the remaining 9 negative karmas. So the basis. The basis will vary. In each case, the basis is different. Otherwise, when we look at the action being performed with the delusion arising very strongly and so forth, so all of these can be applied as appropriate to each of the remaining 9. Majini
Jelichivanes, the Majines and the zone in the Parabola, no Yogi, the Parabola, not of Chijongone, Jeon Yogi. In the Mamboda, Sambo, Gubina, Parabola, no Chai Yodu, Jelichivanes. The Yetembala Koshi, Probatos, the Yetemba, Ronda. Reda Gavoyo again, Luboyon again. The Nezan Kuena in the Jendaji Kuva de Da Namjuso Nonza, the Nizi Kuena, Kumadea Chayogi Uro, the Yitembala Kusha Trobatos, the Membata, Trembatos, the member, the Yuji member, the Tremba, Trogoto 10 years old. At the Jilla, Trobayina, you know, Chayogi. 다 라존 랍드 중화다 춘 레발란 초바다 임버다데 침바다 애니 치로바제이나 대달레 단다 랍존다 춘 레바다 라요 인도 임버레 네단다 니바치아 용요지 고원도 주바 초바도 다 고원도 주바세한데 고라를 주바 초바세야노 요 포론도 주바 초바세야노 근데 이후여다 고라 주바세 정권도 주대서노 근데 제 초바이나 니바치아 용요지 나한테가 너희들이 고원이 와노지 로바 니들 로바 다 니들 좀 봐 로선지 그래다 견디는 조대니 제 로바고 이제 연대지 차네 그래 초바이나 니바 체로 줘야다 나더니 견디도 조대니 제 로바고 나 견디세야 돼요 그래서 선음 사바이나 배워 침보 얘는 니바로 사바이나 아니 미침보 요 조대니 제 로바고 조대니 제에서 인도 단가서 용락의 조대로 세계화만으로 조대된도 좀 구성 두대 단례게 제 조과 이나 레제를 제가 요래서
When we look at the case of the negative karma of stealing, we also look at how, first of all, the negative karma of stealing can become heavier in terms of the basis, because of the basis that's being of the stealing. So, generally speaking, when you steal, when you take other people's possessions, it does harm them a lot. And when when what you're stealing is great in quantity, or something really good, then it harms people. It harms the person that you've stolen from more. So therefore, it becomes heavier in those terms. Then, when you steal from people who like you, people that you get on with, so because of the fact that stealing from them will cause them more unhappiness than if other people would steal from them. So therefore, it becomes heavier in that way. Then. When you kill from those who are, it says here, inferior, which means people who are poorer, poor people, then that makes it heavier. Then what's the other term that's mentioned here anyway? Anyway, then also when one steals from Hira learners, also Hira arhats, also Pratyeka Buddha learners and arhats, and so forth, due to their great qualities, so stealing from them becomes heavier negative karma. And then also stealing from the Sangha and from, literally it says Chetin, like we would normally say that's stupas, but it doesn't actually mean stupa in the normal, as we would normally understand it. So generally speaking, when you create merit in relation to the Sangha, the spiritual community, then there's great benefit, but also when you harm them in some way, then the drawbacks or the negative results of that are also much greater. So here, when it says this, the Chetin or Dharma basis, or basis of worship, what that means is not the usual Chetin or stupa as we normally understand it, but literally the basis of holy body, speech, and mind. So possessions of those, like the basis of the holy body, would be like statues and so forth. Then stealing from those would also be much heavier.
Beginning, there are many in the good ones.
Yes.
So the third is stealing from from people that you were living together, or your friends, whom you trust each other. Then if you say steal from them, because of the trust, having trust before, so then, if you steal from them, then that's more painful, that's more suffering. than from those who are not, not friend. So somebody would friend, living together, or friend touched each other, so they steal from there, more suffering, more painful for the mind. So the heavier stealing. Then the other one, before the lopa, there's Kongdu Chuba Topa, you see, before the lopa, before the Arhat lopa. So, Rabbi said, so that it has also meaning that those who are in palace, they steal from them. So here explain that those who are in prison, then you steal from them, prisoners, there's more suffering. But the stealing is heavier.
이말다 로임게 제대라 가서다 유자 많이 봐 요나 로자 많이 봐다 지바로 이제 로자 많이 봐 얘나 많이 봐 두 많이 봐네 많이 봐서 제요와 이제다 유바자 많이 봐서야 돼네 그런 그 마음 요나 대동들 봐 지바 예주비 총마 지바에나 레 충마다 펜즈 자주 담보 요는 게 충마 대가는 이제 개놈마도 계지마다 야보 제바 다베 그러다 유점 멤버 나오게 지바들레스.
Then with the sexual misconduct, which for that to be heavy from the point of view of the base, there when we were talking about sexual misconduct, we had these 4 points, like it was mentioned that those ones that you should people, the actual people that you shouldn't have sex with, then the limbs that one shouldn't have sex with, and the place and also time. So those 4 were mentioned. So here it talks about how having sex with one's mother or with her relatives, those would be heavier from the point of view of the basis. Also, the wives of good friends, and
the wives that the very beginning, that what the husband loved so much, so attached very much, so engaged in having a relationship with them, so the heavier sexual his wife.
And then also what would be heavier from the point of view of the basis would be having sex with a fully ordained nun, a geloma, or with a probationer nun, geloma, or with a novice nun, a getulma. So this would, having sex with one of those would also be heavier from the point of view of the basis.
이말다 조장 멤버스야 돼 현지 총마지 다 라게 총마나 조장 많이 받아 총게요 말에 이나요 예나 멤버도 두 많이 받아 네 멤버 라게 총마요 노예인데 줘 선바로 이제 다 예나 멤버 말고 마도가 예나 예나 멤버 차대요 근데 이제 칼은 주고 다봐 예나 많이 봐 차대요 대야나 멤버는 다 지슈 제바이서 대만이 봐서야 돼 년내는 내대가 가지나 너무 손에 대여로 이제 대냠 그게 노지기 하인데 제바지 다 rum마다 나와 총바 소고 동부 차되게 다 저바저게 저도 매로운 내지 나되게 된리나 대는 노게 와인데 네 니바치아 용요르스 단내 많이 마셔야 돼 조대인이 거도 견디지 공가라 왔다 냐고 제바오스 근데 대제라 마루바 차루 요아니다 니바치 모요그레스.
Then so in the explanations about the wrong limb and the wrong so with the person who's not not appropriate, then that means that that generally speaking, having sex with one's own wife or one's own partner wouldn't be negative karma. But then when it talks about the wrong limb and or non-limb, non-place or wrong place and wrong time, that would those would be applicable even if it's not somebody else's wife, even if it's your own wife or your own partner. So when we talk about the wrong limb or the non-limb, so since it's understood that the only sort of limb or the only limb which is where you don't create the negative karma is just of this sexual misconduct. Would be the entrance to the womb, so the vagina. That would be the only one which would be where you wouldn't get the negative karma of sexual misconduct. So, like for example, using the mouth and so forth. So that would be a non-limb, and therefore it would become a heavy negative karma due to that. Also, then from the point of view of the time, when the person is keeping the 8-day vows of individual liberation or renunciate vows. So since having sex with that person would cause their vows to degenerate, so it becomes heavier, sort of inappropriate from the point of view of time. Then also when the woman is in the last stages of the pregnancy, so when it literally says when the months are complete, then that would also be inappropriate. Also, when the woman has some kind of illness which makes it difficult for her to have sex, so then when you have sex with her in such circumstances, it causes her suffering. So that's also ruled out. And then in terms of the place, like having sex in the vicinity of what do you call it, of a temple and so forth.
imada da shibache ne shiba noji belane je to wachi jumbayin na chutu bi ko bare da namson la ne tartu ba banda ki shara no jege sabe lo yu de bona ne geno ge jensen baba tem me ros konge tom ge baba je tem de yore jar tom ba tem yu de ha yin lo ma lo ne geno ge da jensen baba tem ru ma res ze ge jensen konro tawo de baba tem yin na di konro taru ro ya ko ten de ne je yo yo ni ma ten de baba tem ru ma res te se yu de bona ne anin la so baba ma yu re je de ten de se la so na so shiba de la ne ta to ba je ku yo de ten ne yo ma se lo yu de bona dong ge baba ge me de ben yo de me ne je je dong ba zhong wa chao se te se yu de kong jian de wo me yin ba ro yo ya ne je de no ba yin se yo de ten de ba ge ka ne kong shi shi de la ne ta ba je na ya ku yo ge re.
So knowing these points, understanding these points, we should try to practice accordingly. It's best, of course, if we can practice immediately, like to implement the practice immediately, like in the story of Geshe Sharawa. So he was using an animal skin to sit on for his practice, for his meditation, and then as he was reading, he came across a passage which talked about it being inappropriate for a monk or nun to use a skin to sit on. So, generally speaking, this is to do with the fact that if you're sitting on the skin of some wild animal, then it can sort of like lead to one's anger getting stronger. So as soon as he saw this, as soon as he read this, then he immediately sort of like threw it out, sort of took it out and stopped sitting on it. But then when he read further down in the text, then he came across a passage which said that under certain circumstances it was okay to use an animal skin to sit on.
Well, and it's a bear, animal bear.
Bear, to sit on a bear skin.
So later after reading some, reading some more pages, then after some time he found out the text says the sitting on using the bear skin is helpful to heal the eye sicknesses. So then he picked up, because at the beginning, so you can't use the animal skin to sit on, you see, the sangha. So then that time immediately he threw out that he was sitting on the bear skin. So he immediately threw out. Then later, after reading quite a number of pages, then he said, text said that sitting on the bear skin, that becomes healing the eye sicknesses. So then when he saw that, then he went to pick up. He picked up the bear skin and then he said, "Oh." What Rinpoche was saying was, if you can't abandon these things, we can't, abandon immediately, but should put effort gradually to abandon. So to